Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us today for this information session about our really new and exciting program that we're offering in Iceland in collaboration with the University of Michigan, with the International Programs and Engineering Office. We're really thrilled to welcome you today and to have the opportunity to work with you. We're going to go over about a great deal of information this morning about the program, introduce you to our wonderful resident director in Iceland, and cover a lot of great details. So we'll go ahead and get started. And then Diane, do you want to flip back and forth and you cover the?
Yeah, that sounds great. The information on this slide, on the second slide, is our program overview. Much of the information that is on this slide is also in our application brochure page of mCompass. So when you start to view the information, you'll see this, but it's really good to have a brief overview of what the program, what the deadline is, the dates of the program, what you're all wondering, what the coursework will be. So the application deadline for this program is February 14th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The dates of the program are May 28th through July 9th. And the cost of the program for two courses is $7,395. We will talk about what's included with that price in another slide. But importantly, what's really exciting is the courses that'll be offered. So we will be offering programming, or API, and our partners in Iceland will be offering programming and introductory data structures for 4 credits, which transfers back to as EECS 280. And then there'll be a social science course, which is social science, the sustainability in the Icelandic context. Right now, we understand this will be a 3-credit course, and we're pending the specific level of a humanities and what that will transfer in as. So that should be posted to the mCompass site soon. And if you've already applied, we will be emailing you all to clarify what that'll be very soon. We did list the application link if you haven't already started an application. The eligibility, you have to have at least a 2.5 GPA and be a current POE student in good standing. And you must have completed the intro programming course, ENGR 101 or EECS 183, and have completed your first year prior to applying. So this program is for students who are in their second year or a higher standing. Next slide. So what does the program fees and cost include? So it includes the IPE advising and support. As I mentioned, it includes the coursework, your health insurance, and your pre-departure orientation. It also includes your housing for the program. So I should have had that in there as well. And then yes, API is going to talk a little more specific about what they're going to be doing when you're in country.
Yeah, thanks, Diane. So as Diane mentioned, the program fee is a comprehensive fee that includes a great deal of things, both on-site as well as pre-departure, as well as once you arrive in Iceland, and then also even after you return on the API side. So you're going to work with our team of program managers ahead of time to help get situated in the program, who are going to guide you through all the different preparations you need to make sure you're all set for the program. So we'll work really closely with IPE to make sure your academics are in place. And then this is an easy program because there's the 2 courses. So you're not choosing courses, rather the program is set up to offer 2 specific courses. So that makes it a little bit easier, but we'll make sure that you're all set with that information. You have our on-site staff, who I'll introduce Christopher in just a moment, but he's going to be your resident director, who's absolutely amazing. And he's going to be there to help you throughout your experience and your time in Iceland. You'll have airport reception. So we'll meet you when you arrive and begin the orientation process, which again, I'll let Christopher discuss a little bit when we get to that section. The courses that Diane mentioned, of course, are included with the program. Those are going to be instructed by professors from Reykjavik University, which will introduce them here in just a moment as well, and kind of share some background information about them, which I think you'll find pretty exciting. The housing is also included. So we are going to show some photos of the actual housing that you'll see and that you'll be staying at when you're in Reykjavik. We also include medical and life insurance, so you have some great coverage there, and some wonderful COVID precaution insurance as well in the event that something like that happens. That is the time that we live in, but you'll be well taken care of and made sure that you're covered there. And then one of the funnest parts of the program, of course, are the different social and cultural activities, as well as the different excursions. So we will talk a little bit more about what that is when we get to that section too. But it's a comprehensive fee that includes a great deal. Meals are not included. We'll mention that meals are not included in the program cost. But other than that, most everything that you need when you're on site is definitely going to be part of the program experience. So just to give you a little bit of background too, before we get into the depth of the program, is we want to make sure you know who API is. API is maybe a new name to some of you as students. So we want to make sure that you are aware of who you're going through and who you're working with on this program experience. So API is a program that puts students at the heart of all that we do. We've been around for over 25 years now, and we are a comprehensive international education organization that offers quite a bit of different programming. We've been working in Iceland for a number of years now, and we've sent many, many students there, and we're really excited to continue to welcome more students. And so I just want to stress that we are been around for a while, and we know what we're doing, and we're really, really thrilled and excited to offer this new program. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Just a little bit, I won't go through all of this information, but again, just to kind of reassure you and set you up to that we are here, and we have been doing this for a while. And we were founded in 1997 by our 4 founding mothers, is who we call them. And I love that because it really does define who we are as an organization, and it makes us, it really sets the tone of how we want our students to feel when they're on our programs, as if they're part of a family and part of our API family. So we've hosted many, many students, over 50,000 students across all of our different programs over the last 24 years of existence. And we have many, many different programs in many different locations. And we've hosted quite a few Michigan students in the past as well. So just to give you, I just wanted to share this with you as a little bit of background about who we are as an organization. And certainly if you have any questions about who we are, you can ask us, and we're happy to clarify and get you in touch with anyone. But we have a lot of great resources for you, and we're just really, really excited for this. So go ahead and move on to the next one. So great. So this is the program slide that we kind of designed to promote this program specifically. And the pictures you see, I forgot to mention this when we started, but the pictures you see on the API slides that are here are taken either by students that have been in Iceland with us, or by Christopher, who is actually a very accomplished photographer. So I'm really thrilled that he added some great pictures that you see on here. So I was so excited, and Iceland is such a beautiful place, and the photography just doesn't even do it justice from what I've heard. So that being said, I'm really excited to see his photographs as well. And I'm sure he can chat a little bit more about that. But the program that we've designed, we call Summer STEM and Sustainability in Iceland. And this was designed very specifically and deliberately for University of Michigan students. The courses that were established were designed specifically with your needs in mind. And so that's why we came up with the program that we did and the 2 courses that we have. So we worked closely with IPE to make sure that the classes that were offered were going to be those that you need as students at Michigan, and that they're going to fit well within your degree plan. We also wanted to take advantage of the specific location from the sustainability context, because it's such an incredible place to study that. So I wanted to add in that specific course that really, really takes advantage of the location, and that is really able to get you immersed in the culture of Iceland and to understand what it is that makes that so important to the location and to the country. The program will span 6 weeks, and you'll be doing a lot of really cool things and seeing lots of wonderful things. And as a bonus, you get to celebrate Icelandic Independence Day while you're there, which we learned was scheduled over while the program is going to be taking place. So you get to celebrate a national holiday the true way when you're there in Iceland. So, and with that, I would like to introduce my colleague, Christopher Matthews, who is on our call today and joining us from Iceland. So welcome, Christopher.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you wanted to just share maybe a little bit, give you a little bit, I won't read your bio, but if you wanted to share just a little bit about yourself, and that would be great.
Okay. Well, I've long been fascinated with Iceland. I visited here right after finishing undergraduate a number of years ago. Had the occasion to visit a few more times before deciding to move and to make Iceland my home. So I attended Reykjavik University, obtained a master's degree in sustainable energy science, and I'm currently working on my PhD in geothermal energy policy. When I have time, and Iceland is a great place for adventure. And as Jason mentioned, I'm into photography. I've often said that Iceland is a photographer's paradise. It's definitely photography on the easy mode, because pretty much anywhere you look, there's another amazing landscape or some fascinating natural phenomenon that you can take photos of. So whether it's geysers or waterfalls or erupting volcanoes, there's always something interesting to see. This is the prettiest place in the world. And in many ways, it's one of the most fascinating, because it's somewhat remote, somewhat isolated, and somewhat austere, but the people have managed to make really a wealthy and vibrant nation out of a place that I think a lot of people don't even really realize exists. So I look forward to having you here and look forward to showing you around.
Thank you, Christopher. So we'll call on Christopher a little bit later on to talk a little bit more about some of the excursions as well. So, but first we want to talk about the courses again. So as Diane mentioned, the courses that are going to be offered are Programming and Introductory Data Structures, which is the equivalent of the EECS 280 course. That will be 4 credits. It is going to be a rather intense course, but we're excited about that. Our faculty got together and had a meeting from Michigan as well as from Reykjavik University and had a great conversation. And I think everyone's really, really excited for this course. And then the next class will be offered. The other course is the Sustainability in an Icelandic Context, which again is currently being evaluated for a specific equivalency, but we'll be sure to share that information soon with you. The schedule has classes taking place Monday through Thursday, and then Fridays are going to be reserved for academic excursions that are related specifically more to the Icelandic or the sustainability course. So that's really exciting. There's some really neat things that are built into that course, and again, taking advantage of the local geography and the wonderful experiences that Iceland provides within that regard. And the courses are going to be taught by faculty from Reykjavik University. The next 2 slides are going to kind of introduce the faculty to you, so you can see who it will be that will be teaching the courses with you. So the first professor is for the data structures course, and this is Kauri. And I will ask Christopher to pronounce his last name because I know I will say it incorrectly.
That's Kauri Halldórsson.
I love it. It's amazing. So we had a chance to meet with Kauri last week and again chat. And so he's great. He's wonderful. And I loved reading his bio here, which I won't read again to you all, but it's great to see he's won awards for teaching excellence and is really well respected by his colleagues and his students. And I think he has a really interesting, the way he approaches the course is really collaborative, and he wants to ensure that students have a great experience. And he was really excited to hear from the Michigan faculty how to make the program really, really great for you all. So I think it's going to be a wonderful experience, and there's going to be a great deal of really fun lab experiences and exercises and things that are part of the course. So it's a language that I don't speak, but the faculty, when they were chatting, had a great conversation. So I'm really excited for that. And then there's one more slide with just a little bit of information about him, which I thought was fun, that he is actually a mountain bike instructor at Reykjavik's leading bicycle club. And he's worked really closely with this club and works on anti-bullying strategies, and has apparently is a great guy. He's a really, really cool person, and I really enjoyed getting to know him virtually. So I hope to have the chance to meet him soon. Then the next professor is August. Is that how you say his name?
August.
Oh, yeah.
August Buffets.
Excellent. So August will be your professor for the Sustainability in the Icelandic Context, which is a course that was designed specifically for Michigan students, which is pretty cool. A really fun fact about August is that he is actually a University of Michigan alum. He received his PhD in nuclear engineering from the University of Michigan and was a visiting faculty member there as well. So he's super, super excited to welcome you all as students, because he shares, of course, that connection to the University of Michigan. But he is seems like a wonderful, wonderful professor and a really exciting professor to have. He also runs the Iceland School of Energy. So he's really involved with a lot of different things that are taking place across the country, and has a breadth of experience and knowledge to bring to this particular course. I was reading some of his interests regarding research and whatnot. And again, it's a language that I don't speak, but it's really interesting. It sounds like there's some really cool things that are happening. So he is the chair of the Department of Engineering as well. So he's got some really, really great connections within the college. And I think he's going to bring a lot to the program for you. And again, he is really excited to welcome you because of the connection to Michigan and to share his interests regarding his research, as well as Iceland itself and all that it has to offer. Professor August has also authored many journals and papers and presented at different conferences and workshops. And so I think you're going to get a lot from him, and he's going to be a really, really great professor to have on campus for you. And again, he's just really, really excited. Christopher, do you have anything to add regarding the faculty at all?
No, just one thing I wanted to mention, because you talked about not speaking the language, and I know you were talking about the language of computer science. But
yes, sorry, that's a good point.
I want to reassure everybody that although Icelandic is its own language, and most people speak Icelandic in their day-to-day encounters with one another, essentially everybody in Iceland speaks English, and they speak it very well. So you'll have no problem communicating with the locals. You'll have no problem communicating with your professors. It will be, this is probably one of the easiest countries to get around speaking just English of all of the countries in the world that I visited.
Thank you for that clarification, Christopher. Yes, I don't speak the computer programming language is what I meant, but yes, that's a very good clarification. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about housing and meals and what that looks like. So the photos that you're seeing here are actual photographs of the housing that will be utilized for this program. So the first thing to note is that safety is our number one consideration whenever we select accommodations for our participants. So Iceland is a very safe country in general, but that being said, we still obviously make sure that what we're choosing for housing is very safe. For this program, you will reside in a shared double occupancy, self-catered apartment style accommodations. So you will be sharing rooms with other students on the programs, but you will have common areas within the housing area. So this includes fully equipped kitchens, living areas, and laundry facilities, as well as high-speed Wi-Fi that's included within the program. You won't need to bring any cookware or linens or anything like that. That'll be provided for you. You will need to prepare your own meals. So you'll be, Christopher will show you where you can, kind of get groceries or things like that, as well as other local restaurants or cafes where you can choose to dine. So do you want to let Christopher mention anything else? That I add anything to that about the housing specifically? But I know we're really excited for it. I think it looks really nice personally. So I would live there.
It's pretty centrally located. It's near one of the main transportation hubs, the main bus station downtown. There are a lot of restaurants and cafes, coffee shops, and so on in the area. And there's a number of grocery stores, including some 24-hour places. Obviously, you pay a premium for 24-hour service, but you'll have no problem finding most of the things that you're used to in terms of food options, and you'll find stuff that you're not used to. So it's always worth getting out and experimenting a little bit.
I actually just saw one of my colleagues from another university, a student brought fish jerky back from Iceland for her. So she posted a picture of it on social media, and I've not seen fish jerky before. So something exciting to try when you're in Iceland.
Yes.
Can I ask one question about the housing?
Sure.
So if students do decide they'd rather have, instead of a shared room within the apartment style, is it possible to request a single room, or is that not I have no idea if that's possible?
It's going to depend in part on how many people we have sign up, because obviously we start to run into the constraints of how many rooms are actually available. So that's something that we'll look at in terms of whether or not that's even doable, and what the premium will be, because obviously, if one person's taking up space that could otherwise occupy two, there's a premium that's involved in that.
We just might get that question, so I thought it would be good to ask.
Yeah, and we can clarify that too, Diane. I can find out more information to see what that would look like or a possibility. So that's a good question.
Thank you.
All right. So I mentioned that one of the biggest benefits or one of the best parts of the program are the different API cultural events and excursions that come along with the program. And so there's a number of things that are already planned for your time in Iceland, and there's things that Christopher will be doing with you while you're there, which will just help enhance the experience for you. So the programs and events are designed to help you engage more fully with the culture and reflect on where you are, as well as integrate the learning that you're doing into your daily lives. over the cost over the duration of the program. So these are going to be included at no additional cost. So there are things that are part of your program fee. It's already built into the program. So there's going to be a welcome and a farewell meal as well. So there's at least 2 meals that are covered for you while you're there. So you won't need to worry about those. But there will be, again, those weekly academic excursions that are part of the sustainability in an Icelandic context course. But then there's also some larger or longer term excursions that are part of the program, which are detailed more specifically on the next couple of slides. But those are programs that Christopher's designed that are specifically meant to help you engage more fully with Iceland and to really get out and see the local countryside and to encourage that. So I'll let you go on to the next slide if you don't mind. And then I just basically copied the information that's on the website from these sections, but I do want to ask Christopher if he can chat a little bit about some of these excursions to kind of share some more detail about that with everyone.
Sure. The first excursion runs along the south coast of Iceland. Iceland, as you probably know, is a volcanic island. The reason that it's here is because there's the mid-Atlantic ridge, the rift that runs the length of the Atlantic Ocean, which produced a great deal of seismic activity and volcanic activity that created Iceland. There's also a magma plume in the southeast corner of the island, which has basically pushed the mid-Atlantic ridge up to the surface. So virtually everything you'll see in one way or another is connected to volcanoes. But because of its northern location and because we get quite a lot of rain and snow here, there's a lot of interesting features that relate to water as well. So you have waterfalls, you have glaciers, you've got volcanic features, and so on. And this first excursion will basically give you a quick exposure to almost all of that, including the famous volcano Eyjafjallajökull, which was the one that disrupted air traffic all throughout Europe and much of the northern hemisphere about 10 years ago. We have some beautiful waterfalls that you'll get to see, some of which will look familiar to you because you've probably seen them featured in various movies. When Hollywood needs to find some place to film so that they can have it stand in for an alien world, Iceland is their go-to choice. So you'll see waterfalls that you've probably seen in some of your MCU movies and a number of other features. And we'll get a chance to actually see one of Iceland's glaciers and see how it's retreated because of climate change, which is a significant factor throughout the world, but it affects Iceland as well. Even as far north as we are, we're getting warmer too. So that'll be one of the tours that we do. We'll do the Golden Circle tour, which is, it's probably, if people come to Iceland and they only have one day to spend here, that's the tour that they take. It runs through the Thingvellir National Park, which is an important historical location for Iceland. It's where the first parliament in Iceland met over 1,000 years ago, and it's where the modern Icelandic state was proclaimed in 1944. We'll also go to the geyser area at Geysir. In fact, you already know a word of Icelandic, congratulations, because all geysers are named after Geysir, which is the first and largest geyser in Iceland. It's not currently active, but there are others nearby that erupt every 5 to 8 minutes. So you will absolutely get a chance to see a geyser eruption while you're there. And then we'll head on to Gullfoss Waterfall, the Golden Waterfall, which is, I've described it for people as like Niagara in a box. It's a large waterfall that plunges down into a canyon. And so it's a very impressive feature. Want to go on to the next slide? Yeah, the power trip will give you an exposure to some of the more unique features of how Icelanders have managed to put all of this wonderful geology to work for them. We'll start off in Hveragerði, which is a little community that has just hundreds of hot springs all around it. And that energy is put to use heating greenhouses. There's a beer brewery there, and a number of other uses for the hot water that comes out of those hot springs. We'll visit Mount Hengit, where the Hellisheiði geothermal power plant is located. In fact, Hengit is a volcano that erupted 2,000 years ago, but it's still quite hot inside. And so there's not only the Hellisheiði power plant, but there's another one, Nesjavellir, located on the north flank of the volcano. So you'll have a chance to see some of the features that are that are related to all of that phenomenal heat that is still locked up inside the mountain. And you'll also get a chance to see some of the fantastic engineering that has been installed in order to put that energy to use.
Oh, thank you, Christopher. That sounds so exciting and so interesting. I would love to see those things. All right, so again, we've already talked a little bit about this. Diane covered this a little bit, but just want to go over the program dates and fees once more. So the program is set to begin on May 28th. So that's when you'd arrive in Reykjavik and depart on Saturday, July 29th. So that will be the duration of the program. And again, the comprehensive program fee is the $7,395. And that includes all of the API program fees, as well as the University of Michigan IPE fees too. There are scholarships that are available through API. And so I know we're going to talk a little bit more about funding on the next slide, but I do want to let you know that there are scholarships you can apply for through API. And so there's some that are on our website now, and there will be additional information coming regarding further opportunities for scholarships with API. But then Diane on the next slide can talk a little bit about more funding that's available through the University of Michigan. So this is our slide, sorry I forgot about this one. Our API scholarships, they're on our website, and we can share the link to make sure that you have a direct link to that. But our summer application deadline is April 1st. I've highlighted that on this slide so that you know that you have until April 1st to apply for the API scholarships that are available through our website. And there's a variety of those. There's regional scholarships, there's first generation student scholarships, there's diversity scholarships, there's academic scholarships. We do have a STEM scholarship specifically. So definitely make sure you're looking at all the different awards that would be applicable to you as a student and apply for multiple awards at the time.
I was just going to say, once students are actually accepted into the program, Jason will share that link with us. So you will have that in your acceptance email, so you will know how you can review that. Jason, when do students typically hear back regarding funding?
Yeah, so generally speaking, the program, we award scholarships about 10 to 15 days after the deadline has of the scholarship application. So it would roughly be mid-April is when students would hear back from us regarding whether or not they've been awarded a scholarship.
Thanks, that's helpful. And funding through U of M, we have, as you can see the website at the bottom where it says resources, you can find a lot of information about how to fund education abroad programs. So we have our COE's Go Global Fund, which is, when you read through that on our website, we'll explain a little bit more about how you can qualify for that. There are a number of opportunities through that funding, mainly to help you with unmet financial need through your either financial aid and or scholarships that you are being offered. The Office of Student Affairs also has a number of scholarships that you can apply for directly. And I should go back, the Go Global Fund is not an application you fill out. So you're automatically considered for funding through our office. And through the College of Engineering once you've been accepted into the program. And so you will be alerted if you were provided funding through that fund. And then we do have our IPE's abroad blogger paid positions opportunities where you can apply to be a blogger. And we have a few different categories you can read from our website. COE departments also offer funding for study abroad opportunities. So we definitely suggest you review and look into those. If you look from our website, there's a section about UM funding. So there are a number of different scholarship opportunities through the entire university. And then there are a number of external funding options. And we've listed some on our website. So you can really, I would encourage you to take a look at these and think a little bit about what opportunities you think might apply for you. If you do have questions, we encourage you to reach out to us. If you have concerns about if something might apply to you or if you think you're not fully understanding what's on the website. Next slide. And I'll let you take it over, Jason.
Thanks so much, Diane. So this slide is kind of just a general overview of what the process might look like. So we'll go into a little bit more specific information, or Diane will go into a little bit more specific information for you as Michigan students. But generally speaking, this is kind of a timeline that we see happening. So we want to make sure that you're reviewing the program information and meeting with your advisors to make sure that this is the right fit for you academically as well as personally and financially. Then once you have decided that this is the program that's right for you, and we of course hope that you will make that choice, you'll want to work within the College of Michigan's IPE office for the first step. So that's the first step, is to apply directly with them, which again, Diane will go over shortly. Then once you've applied and been approved by the University of Michigan, you'll get specific information from API regarding our application process and kind of how you will do that. You're basically being selected by Michigan, or they're, kind of, that's how the program is working first. And then you're getting so you're not applying twice, basically, you're just following our process. So it'll look like an application process with API, but you've really been selected by Michigan to participate in the program already. So you're in, it's just kind of stepping through the API process as well. Then once you've submitted that and you completed the process, there'll be some different things you'll complete with us regarding housing forms and the course forms and kind of our API policies and things like that, participating through the pre-departure orientation that we have, as well as I'm sure one through Michigan as well. And then you'll head on site. So just kind of outline what that process looks like. But the first step, of course, will be to apply with IPE, which again is, Diane will cover that in just a second. So
it's good that we're reiterating some of these things, because I know for even myself, hearing it more than once definitely helps to understand the process. So we mentioned this a number of times, but it never hurts to say it again, that the application deadline is February 14th. And that does cut off at 11:59 p.m. for those of you that stay up very late at night. That's late for me. And a couple of really important things we try to remind students. You must have a valid passport or have applied for a renewal or your first-time passport by the program deadline. So if you need to apply for a passport or to apply to have your passport renewed, we're suggesting you have at least 1 year valid from the program's end date. Then we suggest you do so before your application is due and you apply to expedite the passport process. We understand right now that it could take, if you don't apply for the expedited passport, it could take up to 12 weeks to get your passport, either the first or renewed passport. So that's quite a bit of time and could be cutting it very close to your program start date. Your application will be reviewed and you should know if you've been accepted by February 23rd. And then you would be confirming your participation in the program by March 7th, which is right after spring break. If we have a large number of applicants, you could be put on the wait list and would be notified after students confirm if you would have a spot. And there are 2 types of orientations, and actually possibly 3. We're going to work with API to see if you'll be offering some additional information before students arrive. But we do have what's called the online supplement to the program orientation. This is an online orientation through Canvas. And then you will actually have a program orientation, which we hope to actually be in person, which will cover some cultural orientation activities and things to best prepare you for the program. So that is our current plan. Next slide. And a couple of other things to consider. If you are not a US citizen, please check the official website. It should not say Italy, it should say Iceland, sorry about that, to determine if you need a visa. US citizens will not need a visa, but if you are not a US citizen, even if you're a permanent resident in the US, you might be required to obtain a visa to enter Iceland. So that'll be something you will have to research on your own. And we also suggest you review the budget sheet information on the mCompass site. This should be updated within the next couple of days. So right now it says coming soon. But you will want to contact the Office of Financial Aid to inquire what type of funding you can receive. So we do suggest you do this now before you can finish your application, but just to be fully aware about what kind of funding you could receive from your financial package. It's a good idea to keep that in mind. Next slide. And I am happy to meet with you. You can schedule a meeting with me if you have any questions. You can find the meeting link either in my email or on our advising page. And feel free, even if you can't find a time to meet with me because I might have lots of spots filled up, just send me an email. I try to fit students in when I can. So if you have a pressing question, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do my very best to meet with you before the program deadline.
And same with me. I'm here as well. If you have any questions about the program specifically, please feel free to reach out to me at any time, and I'm happy to answer any questions that I can. If I don't know the answer, I can certainly get in touch with Christopher or someone else that can answer the question more directly, but certainly know that API is here as a resource for you as well. This is a collaborative program, and we're really excited about it. I did want to mention just really quickly too, Diane, with regard to the orientation, in addition to all of the pre-departure information that you'll receive, once you arrive on site, you'll get a comprehensive on-site orientation as well. So you'll feel very well prepared, hopefully before you go, and then even more so kind of bring it all together when you're on site. So it'll be, I think, a wonderful experience. And just looking at that photo, that's where you get to look. That's where you get to study. I mean, how amazing is that? So yeah, if there's any other additional last minute questions from anyone.
And if you want, you can put your questions in the chat. Feel free to do that if you feel more comfortable. We're happy to answer those. Any questions at all?
I just had a quick question about like confirming your enrollment in the program. I know you kind of said that was like a March 7th deadline. Does that mean just like paying the program fee and then it's kind of a done deal from there and you go through the API process? Or does that happen later on?
Yeah, that's a great question. So once you confirm that you want to do the program for sure, you'll be signing some documentation that provides information about sort of, their confirmation process, and that you will be billed through the U of M for enrollment in the 7 credits. And that enrollment will be in the summer or the spring summer term. So you will not be billed on March 7th. But you would be expected to be paying the bill sometime later before the program starts, most likely. And then we will be directing you, once you've confirmed, to do the API processing. And as Jason mentioned, it's not another form of acceptance. It's a little bit more about ensuring that they have all the pertinent information for you and that you're in their system, right, Jason? If you want to explain a little more about that.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll look like an API application process because it is this program is open to students. So there will be students from other universities and campuses that are joining you as well. But for Michigan students specifically, we will have received your name from IPE. So you will be forwarded materials like a link to an application process. So some of the information might be a little bit redundant, but we're going to do our best to make sure that what you've already provided is shared with us so that we can not make you duplicate processes and whatnot. But in essence, it's basically just a link to complete this information so that we can get you in our system and make sure that you're moving through our process quickly. But you won't pay anything to API. That'll all be through Michigan. So there'll be nothing that you need to pay upfront to API as part of this process. Great question though, Charlie.
And just in case you didn't see in the chat, Miranda graciously helped me with the billing cycle. Billing happens at the end of May. So it would be due at the beginning, or I'm sorry, at the end of April, it would be due at the beginning of May. So you would be paying for the program before you depart. So that is good clarification. Thank you.
So, are there any other questions? Yeah, so Miranda just added to the chat that billing and scholarships all flow through University of Michigan, just like you are here on campus. So it's an easy process. That's a great point. It stays very simple, one place to make payments and no need to worry about paying API directly for anything. This will all be through your standard process. So look very similar to what it would be if you were on campus for the summer. Wonderful.
All right, if there are any other questions, let us know.
Yeah, if anyone reaches out anytime, we'll be sharing more information again. But yeah, we're really excited. Thank you again. Thank you so much, Christopher, for joining us from Iceland as well for this. It's great to have you here and your expertise.
Well, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. We look forward to welcoming you all in Iceland this summer.
Thank you.